What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the ITP Paladin. I know, I suck. I'm back. For anybody who's been following me for a while, they know the reason why I kind of went dark. And I do apologize to everybody. I'm just going to stop apologizing in the video, though. You already know I'm sorry. I hope so. So a couple of updates. Number one, excuse the mess, I'm back. A lot of work getting back into it. A lot in the home that got changed. We actually had our windows done too, so yeah, a lot going on. ITP fatigue is actually real. For those of you that don't know what that is, ITP is the blood condition that I've been having for a while. If I haven't filled you in already, it's basically a lot of that and everything. When you're internally bleeding, it's no different than an external bleed. So if you're fatigued, that's pretty much a very good reason and an excuse. So anyway, number two, I owed you guys a video, and if I do it on stream, I'm never going to upload it. So yeah, patch note that came out for today on April 30th. Three very big things that I need to talk about. Three very big things that in general everybody is going to be talking about for the next coming week. And one of the big ones actually has to do right there. Damage roll passive and healing reduction increased from 15 to 20. If anybody needs a refresher, Season 9 saw the introduction of the change of the roll passive being implemented from a reload speed passive initially. So it kind of went back to Season 9 levels. And, you know, they thought that it was too strong at first. With a couple of the changes that they made prior, as I understand, though, we can go all the way down. I think that healing numbers were slightly boosted for some support heroes, so this kind of helps itself out and balances out, or at least what it seems to me on surface level. I could be wrong. I think that if they were to kind of find a middle ground of something not to weaken it too much, but to increase its potency, maybe find the middle ground of 18%. Just throwing that out there. But I also understand, like, I've seen at least some initial surface level responses from people saying that this was too strong and, you know, they favor damage roll. From my perspective, they didn't favor damage for shit. And that's just me being blatantly honest here for like a second. Damage roll, I know that tank has it the worst. I'm not even going to start competing on this one. Like, tank for sure, like, irrefutably. Anybody that denies that tank is having a good time, or anybody that thinks that tank is having a good time, I'm not that ignorant. I mean, I could be an idiot from time to time, but that's just like next level stupidity if you think that tank is having a good time. Especially with the nerf, but we'll get into that in a second. But no, as far as the damage roll passive, damage roll needed to be having an identity. Damage as a whole needs to have an identity. And I'm a hit scan main myself, so I'll take the heat for whatever it is that I play. I play Soldier 76 as a primary, so I'm a Scholar and a Saint. That's obviously a joke. But as far as the healing reduction, that is a much better thing than a reload speed and a lot more useful. And damage, like, here's the thing. Like, I agree with the comment that was made by a former, I'd call him pro, but he's not pro. He's a top-level player, one of the number one soldiers back in Overwatch 1, regionally speaking. And he had the evidence to back it, so I know the guy was legit. But he had a statement that resonated with me, and it makes a lot of sense. What makes damage unique from support players and tank players, and pretty much just what makes damage as a role unique? For tanks, they have barriers, they have the ability to take space, they have higher health pools, they have certain abilities that, you know, damage players and support players don't have, and they kind of have this implementation of being the cornerstone, the chief cornerstone of the team. Like, if a tank goes down, the team falls. But if the team falls, the tanks are the last to go. And you can have the mix of both, but ultimately, at the end of the day, no other role is seen as a chief cornerstone like a tank. Then we come down to the support roles. Well, what does support do? They have abilities that enable their teammates, like Nano Boost and Harmony Orb, that although upkeeps them, it also has an opposite of a Discord Orb. Sleep Dart, you have these different things. And then you also have the ability to heal your team, as well as disable healing on the enemy team from time to time, and immortality when they introduce Baptiste, and armor in the case of Brigitte when they had her before, and now it's like overhealth. So on and so forth. They have their identity. But then you go to damage. What separates them from the rest? Oh, they get eliminations. Tanks and supports can do that. Oh, they can make plays. Tanks and supports can do that. Have we not watched ML7? Have we not watched Super? Have we not watched Emong? Have we not watched pretty much the Reddit Lucio of the internet? Have we not watched them? Like, if you're thinking that damage is unique, join the club, but at the end of the day, they're really not. Like, eliminations is not unique. Making plays is not unique. Yes, they have better kits suited towards those things, but that's about as much as you could argue. Now, have they come up with more unique heroes since then? Absolutely. No, but we're not going to take that away, but, you know, this healing reduction is kind of like a step in a positive direction, and it helps them uniquely have a way of being able to secure team play over tank and over support. It makes them unique. Is it the right thing to do? Probably not. There's probably something better that they can implement that would definitely make them more unique as a role. But at the end of the day, they haven't implemented yet. They haven't come up with anything yet. They haven't even talked to their community about anything. They're all internal. So we'll work on that later. Let's move on to the thing that everybody I know for a fact is rejoicing right now for seeing it. Orisa, the horse, has finally gotten not just a patch, but a nerf. I'll say this again. What the heck? Where did you come from? I don't know. I still have blood blisters in my mouth. I'll explain in a minute. But, yeah, Orisa finally got a nerf instead of a buff. It's kind of funny because everybody has been saying for a long time that horse needs a nerf, but they keep on buffing her because, you know, reasons, whatever they have in their kit. But she finally got a nerf, and you know what? Nobody is unhappy about it. Or at least not that I've seen anybody's unhappy with it. Everybody's actually... Like, if anything, everybody's disappointed that there weren't more nerfs. But I think this is a step in the right direction to try and see about leveling her a little bit, because if they kind of put the wrong nerfs on her, she's just going to be useless. And I get it. Nobody wants a horse meta. But at the same time, nobody wants horse to be gone for good. Like, Orisa's got a fan base still, despite what a lot of people think. So Fortify duration was reduced by a full second. So that means that 3.5 seconds instead of 4.5. And she now moves 20% slower while fortified. I remember that they removed that speed penalty. That makes her very impressive, and I agree that if they're going to give her damage reduction to the extent that they've given her with Fortify, and the Javelin spin on top of that, and the healing from the supports, this is kind of needed. Like a speed decrease is kind of like the least you can do. Like, on top of the duration, lasting. Like, I don't know, Fortify shouldn't be... Like, this is maybe my opinion, I might be wrong, but for lack of better explanation, it shouldn't be the only thing that makes her character great. She has her spear, she has the capability of fighting. Like, Fortify should be kind of like a defensive tool, more like it than an offensive tool, because a lot of people just abuse Fortify, and I don't even know what the cooldown on that ability is off the top of my head. Been a long while. But by making it shorter bursts, by giving her 20% less movement speed, you kind of balance out the ability to not be so oppressive and in your face, which is kind of the problem that I have, is that anytime I play against an Orisa, doesn't matter if you're well positioned or not, or if you're with your team, the moment that she's able to press in and kind of disperse everybody for free, all by the simple presses of 2 buttons, it's kind of much. And again, we can further the discussion later. The point is, like, I'm only making a surface cover here. Javelin spin cooldown increased by 2 seconds. That's also great, because that's always been a bane of my existence as pretty much just any hero, for that matter. Didn't matter if you were support, didn't matter if you're tank, didn't matter if you're damage. That Javelin spin is the bane of everybody's existence, and I'm kind of glad that they nerfed it by 2 seconds. Maybe they could have done a little bit more than just those 2 abilities, but again, it's a good start. It's literally a step in the right direction. She needed the nerfs. The next nerf, if they do a tank, in my opinion, should be Sigma. Everybody else, you know, come as they may, but Sigma is kind of a big one in my book, and we're probably going to be seeing him come up on the ranks because Orisa's gone. He's like the tank that you can get that well rounds alongside Orisa, so we'll go on that later. Damage Hero Venture. Smart Excavator. I'm assuming that's her primary, and maximum explosion damage decreased by 5 points. I guess that she was just having too much damage output. I mean, I played her last night. It was actually really fun to play Venture. I'm not even going to lie here. I enjoyed it. just digging the hole, coming back up, knocking people off the edge. I even noticed that even though I was struggling to get an elimination, it didn't feel bad. So, explosion damage decrease, probably necessary for how strong she was. I don't know. Drill Dash, her other ability, initial impact damage reduced to 30. I don't know what to make of that. I didn't feel like it was too strong of an ability, but then again, I only played her once. Once. Don't take my opinion for it. I'm just spitballing here because she's on here. Lastly, Tectonic Shock, the ultimate charge increased by 10%. I did notice it was actually very decent to get her all. Maybe it could stand to have that increase, but maybe that might be too much. They got to fine-tune that as time goes on. I didn't notice a problem with it, and when I finally got it, we pretty much won the match, and then I decided to do a funny leap off the edge because I like how she does the dive. We'll talk about that on stream more in depth. Bug fixes. So names will no longer be revealed when blocking someone with streamer mode enabled. Wow, that would have seemed like a very important bug to fix a lot sooner, but okay, moving on. Fixed the bug that allowed non-leader players to select requeue button. I noticed that they input that. That seems like a very large oversight. Fixed a lighting issue that caused several sprays to look oversaturated. I heard this one. I'll talk about it more on stream. I'm going to quickly elaborate. Nobody in the Blizzard department working on this has a problem with whitewashing. Nobody has a problem with whitewashing. This team is dedicated to diversity, both in racial stuff, cultural stuff, sexual stuff. Come on now, let's be honest. They don't have a problem with it. If there's something about something looking whitewashed or oppressive or whatever it is, I guarantee you it was either accidental or non-intentional. Calm your roll. That's the people on social media. Troll me about it in the comments. Hanamura! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hanamura, not Hanaoka, Hanamura. The assault map. You know, the game mode that we don't have in the rotation anymore that they refuse to work on even though they could. We fixed an issue with the lighting. The map is now available to play on the Assault arcade game mode in a custom game. I know people hated that game mode, but if they're going to put as much effort as they do into other crappy game modes that nobody wants to play, they can fix 2CP. Crucify me if you must. Alright, bug fixes for heroes, there's only 2 of them. Fixed a bug that caused some pings from Diva to enter several... How is that even... Okay, I don't even know how that works on the system, but we're going to bypass that. Venture. Fixed an issue with Drill Dash that could occur when interacting with Doomfist's Rocket Punch or Fixed an issue with Drill Dash that could occur when interacting... Okay, with Rocket Punch or Energy Javelin, sending Venture flying back at a great speed. Huh. I had yet to see that bug, but kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie, I can imagine that being hilarious to see. I'm still confused about the Diva thing, like it physically enters a bunch of zeros in chat when she pings. Like, it didn't even mention anything about her ping and just put a bunch of several zeros. Like, that'd actually be kind of funny. That's pretty much it. The last patch was over on April 16th, so not really a lot to go on here. Did they even mention anything now that I saw about the requeue? Grouping restrictions, rank information, golden weapons, that's hero updates. Challenges, endorsements, hide my name, progression, lever penalties. Competitive updates for specific titles. Yeah, no, they didn't even cover it. I mean, I'm glad that they implemented it because requeue makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to like break away from normal quick play or competitive and you try to play something different, but you know, whatever. Anyway, let me know what your guys' thoughts are below because this patch was very small and I don't hate it so far. I actually think that it's a great start in the right direction again. I don't know. We can talk about more details on stream, but troll me in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys later tonight. Have a good one.